George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. Black people who have died at the hands of white people. 4 years ago, the actor Will Smith said, racism isn't getting worse, it's getting filmed. Surely things aren't as bad now as they were in the 1960s, are they? Or in the 1860s? But they're a lot worse than some of us realized. We live in a bubble, don't we? We live in a bubble, and our bubble is made up of money and of social status and of education and of skin color and the belief that nothing bad will ever happen to good people like us. But our bubble is breaking because these days everybody has a camera and we can see the violence with our own eyes. My name's Pastor Brad, and I'm one of the pastors at Timberlake Church in Lynchburg, Virginia, and I thank you so much for tuning in and watching my video. I want to say that violence of any kind is a problem. Right now, we are seeing repeated acts of white violence against people of color. For folks who insist that these incidences are not really about race, please take a moment with me to be a student of history. In the United States, where for decades it was legal for white people to own black people, where for decades it was legal for white people to discriminate against black people, it really seems intentionally ignorant not to acknowledge that the things that are happening these days are part of that same problem. And it keeps happening over and over and over. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. When will white Americans stop accepting the death of people of color? When will we say enough? Now, please do not comment with a list of reasons why this person or that person's death is justified. In the United States, we believe in a really important idea called innocent until proven guilty. It's part of the fabric of what it means to be America. We believe in ideals like justice and truth-telling and freedom of speech. And when those things are taken away, we cease to be the America that we have always believed in. If we don't stand for justice and truth and freedom of speech, we're just another country where human rights violations are normal and accepted. So what can we do? Well, today I'm asking you to speak up. I'm asking you to speak up, to use your voice first to talk to God, because our God is a God of justice and of healing and of reconciliation. And it's time that we acknowledge that our human solutions are falling short and that we need God's help. Second, I'm asking you to talk to your neighbors. Facebook comments are okay, but even better is face-to-face conversation. Challenge racially sensitive comments. Make friends with people who have different skin color than you do. Speak up for people who are being victimized. I think the temptation is for us to say nothing. We think to ourselves, well, I don't want to risk offending someone. I don't want to upset relationships. I don't want to put myself out there. But that attitude is a problem, my friends. Someone has said, silence is violence. Silence is violence. Now that sounds extreme, but it rings true, because standing by silently while people are harmed makes us complicit. If I don't stand up for my family, for my friends, for my neighbors, then I'm guilty. I'm guilty of injustice and of failing to be a peacemaker. I know that a lot of us just try to be neutral, right? But I gotta tell you, in situations like this, neutrality does not exist. There is no middle ground. Either you are working for justice or you are against it. Think about it. If you're standing there watching David fight Goliath, and you say, well, I just want to be neutral, David does not appreciate your neutrality. Goliath is huge and David is small. Goliath has more resources and more power and more authority. I've heard some of you say you're upset about the riots. Good. Be upset. Reject violence of all kinds. But if you're upset about the riots, I can only imagine how much more upset you are about the death of human beings. If we believe in justice, friends, we don't get to pick and choose which violence to be upset about. All violence toward humans is unacceptable. So please, please speak up. Talk to God. Talk to your neighbors. Someone has to say something. It seems like we live with the false belief that there's no point because some people won't hear us or they don't have to listen to us after all. Like a police officer who's using his knee to crush the neck of a man. Now, most cops would never do that, right? Right. Every police officer I know is conscientious and tries hard to do the right thing every day and cares about people. And so, to the police officers who are working so hard to do good, we need your help to stop those who are doing evil. When a leader, when a person with power does something that needs to be criticized, friends, we need to speak up. Nobody is untouchable. Not police officers, not pastors, not university presidents, not American presidents. We need effective leadership at every level, now more than ever. God is calling for people who will say something. The Spirit of God is raising up women and men and even children who will speak up. I see it and I hear it. I see it on social media. I hear it in my own neighborhood and among my church people. God is doing something, and God is ready for us to say something. God has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To do justice and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God.